Moto Scout, exploring life on two wheels.
This is my 6-month review of my Kawasaki Z800 model year 2016. It is the only year that it was over here in the United States. It was over in Europe from 2013 model year to 2016. It was replaced with the Z900, which also took the place of the Z1000, which had a long run as well. It is mostly stock. I have done a couple of different things. The exhaust is stock. I haven't invested money in switching that out. I put on these T-Rex guards in case it gets tipped over. I have switched out this seat. It's a shad seat, S-H-A-D. I had to order that from Europe because there really isn't a whole lot of aftermarket accessories in the United States, it only being here for 1 year. If you look here, that's the heated glove tie-in for the to the battery. All I have to do is plug the glove wire into that runs through my jacket. I've got a tail tidy and aftermarket brake light and turn signal. It cleans up the rear quite a bit. Other than that, it is almost all stock. I forgot about the windshield. It comes with a very, very small bug shield that really doesn't give you any wind protection. This is an MRA windscreen. I ordered that from Germany. It took about 3 or 4 weeks to get here, but it's much better than the one I'd gotten really cheaply off of Amazon. So that just about does it. Of course, I've got my phone holder. It's a RAM mount. It's got the extra little piece that ties it in case it does slip, but I've never had any problems with the RAM mount. This is another GoPro mount, so I could shoot the camera back towards me while I'm riding. And this right here is just a little piece that goes between your grip and your bar end that you can hang your helmet to. That comes in real handy when you're just running in and out of somewhere. Alright, let's start it up. You can see the gauge there. And let it warm up just a bit. I'll throw the hazard lights on. You can see the tail light. And as you can guess, it does blink, turn signal yellow whichever way you're going. And when you push the brake light, it gives it 3 real quick flashes to catch the people behind you's attention before it stays on for good. And there's the turn signal, left turn. Alright. The tack is a little bit different. It scrolls up more kind of like a video game than a tack that would roll left to right that you normally see. You see it tops out at 14,000 revolutions per minute. And it really has quite a bit more kick once you get past that 6,000 RPM. If you keep it under 6, it's pretty docile. In fact, other than the body weight, it would make a pretty good first bike if you are judicious with the throttle. It weighs in around 510 pounds fully wet. And that's pretty heavy for a naked bike like this, but really once you get it going, you don't have any problems with the weight. It's pretty flickable and pretty nimble. It's even pretty good in low speed maneuvers. I haven't had the body weight be an issue at all. Once you get past the in that 6,000 to 10,000 RPM range, if you're still pulling back on the throttle, it's got quite a bit of pickup. I think the horsepower is just over 100, and the torque, I should have looked it up, but I think it's in the 70s or 80s foot-pounds or pound-feet of torque. So why have I made some of the modifications I've made? Well, the windscreen I spoke about just a few minutes ago, pretty obvious. A naked bike, when you get up to speed 55 or higher, you get an awful lot of wind on your chest, which, you know, is not bad if you're going short distances or in the twisty roads, because you're constantly moving and it's hitting different areas of your body. But if you're doing extended periods of time on the highway or down the interstate, that wind against your chest, you're kind of sitting up on this naked bike as a sail, and that wind will tire you out. So just getting the windscreen on it, even as short as it is, it takes the wind off of my chest and hits it at the helmet and over the helmet. If I'm to duck down, it goes completely over my head. So it makes it a lot more usable on the interstate or going down long straight stretches. And to be honest, it looks pretty good without the windscreen, but I think it kind of completes the bike a little bit having the windscreen on there. I went with the full black because you can't see through the windscreen anyway. You're not looking that far in front of your bike. If you're looking at your front wheel, you're going to mess up. The seat, you might guess, is another obvious reason. The stock seat was just not comfortable. It looks good, it's got a little Z pattern on it, but after 45 to 60 minutes on it, I needed to get off. Just too much pressure in the lower spine. There's not enough cushion in it to comfortably ride it more than an hour. So that was one of the better modifications I made, was the seat. I can now ride it well over an hour without any problems, and usually by then I am ready to get off and get some gas or get something to drink anyway. That brings up another topic about the bike: fuel range. It's got I think a 4.5 gallon tank. It gets about 45 miles per gallon depending on how you ride it. It gets a little bit better in the summer, a little bit worse in the winter. So fuel range is anywhere from 160 to 200. So it's not a bad bike to travel on as far as fuel range goes. It's a comfortable seating position. The pegs are not that far back. I'll be honest, I could use them just a little bit further forward because my knees, especially on the stock seat, I think this seat's just a little bit higher. They did get tired of being tucked in a little bit, but it's nothing like a sport bike. It's a real good rider triangle. I'm slightly leaned forward, so I'm not as big a sail into the wind as I previously mentioned. Being leaned over a little bit helps the wind not hit your full force. But I could ride in this position all day long. I'm not supporting my body with my wrists. You know, my wrists are just laying on the handlebars, which is what you want. You don't want to be tight or tense. And there's enough room in the seat to where if I wanted to tuck in a little bit better, go a little bit faster, a little less wind resistance, there's plenty of space in the seat to do that. what's it like to ride the bike? Like I mentioned earlier, it is very well mannered as long as you've got it. Oh, bad road. As long as you've got it under that 6,000 RPMs. Once you get up there, if you're twisting the throttle and you're not ready for it, you better get ready real quick, because it will just get up and take off. So it's kind of a great all-around bike. I commute a lot into work, so it being well-mannered on heavy traffic roads is great. I enjoy getting out on the weekends with a buddy and riding, and having that extra get up and go when you're keeping in the higher revs is also great. So it's kind of a jack of all trades type of bike. Of course, you can make any bike you want, do anything you want, but this one is pretty well suited to it. I think naked bikes in general, naked or standard bikes, are great all-around bikes. If I wanted to, I could put some bags on it and make it a tour, a sport tour. It's not ideal for that, but you could take a long trip with it. It really doesn't lack for power in my mind. Of course, I came from a 250 Cruiser that I had for 3 or 4 weeks. Then went to a Honda CB500X, which was a even more upright standard bike. And that was very well mannered. Loved that bike. But then I rode a Z650 and fell in love with it, and bought it on a day I went to the dealership and wasn't planning on buying anything. And then after a couple months of the Z650, this bike came up at the dealer. It was drastically marked down. It was a discontinued model. They had gotten it from another dealership, so I don't think they had a whole lot of money in it. And I was basically able to go in and just switch keys for that used Z650 for this new 2016 Z800. So I'm glad I did it. I really did love that Z650 too. I think all of these naked standard bikes, the Yamaha FZ, I guess it's now the MT-07, MT-09, the Kawasaki Z900, Suzuki SV650. I think all of those bikes are great all-around bikes. So I would highly recommend anybody looking for this kind of bike to get out and test ride a couple of those and see which one you like. I don't think you can go wrong with any of them. So am I glad I got the bike? Heck yeah. It does everything I need it to do. Of course, that doesn't stop me from wanting other bikes. I love the expression, how many bikes is enough? The equation is N equals N plus 1, where N is the number of bikes you already have. So you're always wanting another bike. Whether you have one, you want two. If you've got two, you want three. But if you're going to just be stuck with one, I think these naked bikes like the Kawasaki Z800, or if you move up to the 900 now, I think that's an excellent choice, and you won't be disappointed. So if you have any other questions that I didn't cover in this video about the Kawasaki Z800, feel free to give me a comment. My channel is small enough to where I respond to everything I get, so I don't mind and actually enjoy seeing the comments and would love to respond to you. If you like the video, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to get up to 100 subscribers so I can get a custom URL for the channel. I think that'll help me get the word out a little bit better. If there's something you didn't like about the video, please give me the thumbs down. Let me know what I did wrong, can do better, and I'll work on it. Talk to you again. Ride safe and enjoy the open road. you.